pleasure to introduce the Chairman of the Fairfax Board of Supervisors, Gerry Connolly. Welcome, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Pierce. Governor Kaine, members of our congressional delegation, distinguished guests, my colleagues from the Board of Supervisors, members of the CTV, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody once said that the purpose of local government is to try to satisfy the annoyed without annoying the satisfied. And today's project is a little bit like that. Getting big things done, as Tom said, is really hard. The world is filled with critics and second-guessers and naysayers, and to try to get something off the ground, to try to build the cooperative relationship you need among federal, state, and local officials, trying to get the money for big projects is really a daunting challenge. And today represents, it seems to me, a signal accomplishment by our government in being able to get something big done. And you know, it's in the context of a lot of other big things that are underway. The Woodrow Wilson Bridge, of course. We've already opened one span. Looking at the extra lane in 95, looking at hot lanes in the Beltway and on the I-95 corridor. I'm hoping to get rail in the Dulles Corridor transit, getting rail in the Dulles Corridor, enhancing transit in the Richmond Highway Corridor to try to help alleviate some of those conditions of Brack that Jim Moran talked about. These are all projects that are on the books and underway that are going to make it collectively a big difference in regional mobility here in Fairfax and in Northern Virginia. We couldn't do it without having our partners at the federal and state level. And so I want to salute them and their predecessors for the commitment they made to make today possible. It gives me great pleasure to introduce a friend to our community, somebody who's been visionary and understood that transportation was a very important issue that had to be addressed, even if he had to sort of drag the unwilling into the process. Somebody who was willing to show enormous intestinal fortitude in the General Assembly of Virginia for these last 2 years to try to make sure they understood how critical the transportation investment deficit was for Virginia and resolving it, how imperative it was to resolve it. My friend, our governor, His Excellency, Tim Kaine.
Thank you all so much. This is great. Please have a seat. It is a great day to be here. An unnamed member of the head panel here is going to try to go to the Nats game at 1:05, so I'm going to be brief. I want to keep the friends that I have up here. But it is a wonderful thing to be here to celebrate a huge and signature accomplishment. As Tom Davis mentioned, success has 1,000 fathers, and that's always the case. There is nothing that we can do in this line of work that one person can just declare that it's going to be done and it will be so. No, the kinds of challenging projects that you work on as a governor in the private sector, leader of local government, state government, legislator, you only get things done by having a vision and then getting people to coalesce around it by great teamwork. Dave Eckern did a good job of introducing us all to the team, the folks that worked on this. And I do want to underline one thing he said, and it was mentioned by other speakers as well. VDOT and our state's transportation agencies had a little bit of a malaise period where on-time, on-budget percentages really were embarrassing. It wasn't, the fault of people who weren't trying, but there just wasn't a focus on trying to manage and really push toward on-time, on-budget, toward results that could be measured that would satisfy citizens. That really has turned around dramatically beginning in 2002, so that now if you go on the VDOT webpage and you look at on-time, on-budget, they post it right up there so you can see it every quarter in the high 80s now or low 90s from the 20% on time and the 40% on budget just 5 years ago. And so everybody associated with VDOT, we've got current and past VDOT employees who have been part of this who are here today. I just want to salute you for your focus on really delivering results for citizens. This is a great partnership. We've heard from our legislators and administrative officials at the federal level, huge dollars, federal dollars into this project to deliver a result, not just for Virginians but others. This is an interchange with nearly 500,000 people a year that come through it. And many are from states all over this country who are traveling through Virginia to see the nation's capital, get to other places. We owed them a better working interchange than what they experienced, and we've delivered it with this. I want to thank Tom Davis and Jim and more broadly the whole Virginia congressional delegation for really being tigers for us, trying to make sure that we're getting what we're entitled to, and then keeping pressure on us to do what we need to do, and that extends to the whole delegation. To the local officials who are here, those with the Fairfax Board of Supervisors, you have put up with an awful lot, but you did it because you had a vision and you knew what the result would be, and we appreciate it. I also want to extend a special thanks to the members of the Virginia Legislature. I think I've got two here. Mark Sickles, member of the House of Delegates, and I think Jay O'Brien, State Senate. I think I've got two here, but to you and to all you guys in Northern Virginia, pushed hard on this project, pushed hard this year to make sure that we came up with a statewide transportation bill that increased road spending by 30%, public transit spending by 45%, rail spending by 65%, and on top of that, put in place a mechanism whereby far-sighted local officials could enact a regional plan that would produce another $400+ million a year so that we can improve VRE, improve Metro, improve other projects. As Pierce said, I'll conclude and say this: we're not done. This is a victory today, not just for this project, but it's a victory for the notion that, hey, in a tough political climate, we can still make things happen. We can still do big projects. We can do them by feeling optimistic and having a can-do attitude and getting everybody to work together. And so it's going to be Metro expansions and VRE expansions. It's going to be rail to Dulles and hot lanes in the Woodrow-Wilson Bridge and hot lanes on, and not just the Beltway, but on I-95. We owe it to Northern Virginians to invest in key projects to improve their quality of life, and that's what we're going to do because we're all doing it together. Thanks so much, and congratulations to all who've been associated with this.